Before modifying our Vidly application to talk to this node backend, let's quickly make sure that we can successfully create a movie by sending an HTTP request to the movie's endpoint. To do this, I'm going to use a Chrome extension called Postman. If you don't have Postman, simply search for Postman Chrome. Here's the link. Add this to your Chrome, and then you'll be able to access it under Apps, Postman. Here in Postman, we can send various kinds of HTTP requests to any given endpoints. Here, open up a new tab and enter this URL, http localhost port 3900/API/movies. Note that the type of this request is GET, and we can change that here, as I will show you in a second. First, let's send a GET request to this endpoint. Send. So this is what we get in response. We get an array of movie objects. Each movie has these properties: underline ID, title, number in stock, daily rental rate, and genre, which is a complex object. So this is the same kind of movie object we have worked with in our Vidly application. Now let's see if we can create a new movie. So change the type of this request to post. Now in the body of this request, we need to add a movie object. So from this list, select raw, and then change the type of the request to JSON, that is application/JSON. Here, let's add an object. Set a few properties, title, a new movie. Make sure to put the keys in double quotes because that's the valid JSON format. In JSON, all keys should be in a string. We should also set number in stock. We set this to a number. Then let's set daily rental rate. We set this to another number. And finally, we should add genre ID. We need to set this to a valid genre ID in our database. So open up MongoDB Compass. Here in the list of genres, let's grab one of these genres. So simply copy this string. Now back in the Postman, let's pass that genre ID here. Click send. You should get an error, 401 unauthorized. It's telling us that access is denied, no token provided. We'll look at implementing authentication and authorization in the next section. So for now, to help you connect this Vidly application to its backend, I have added a configuration setting for enabling or disabling authentication. This is purely for this course, so you don't get hung up on the details of authentication. It's not something you should do in a production environment. So here in the terminal, stop the web server by pressing Ctrl and C. Now open this project in Visual Studio Code. Here in the config folder, look at default.json. You can see we have a key, requires auth, which is set to true by default. If you change this to false, you can modify the data without having to authenticate. So save the changes. Now back in the terminal, run node index.js one more time. Okay, our web server is restarted. Now back in Postman, let's send this request one more time. This time we got a response with the status 200, which means okay. Here's our new movie. You can see it has a unique identifier. Beautiful. Next, we'll look at the exercises you should do for this section.